Welcome to another episode of the Awakening series. Today is just a short video. Marissa and I had a chat about words. So, are your words powerful? Do they shape your reality? So, stay tuned to find out more about what we have discovered on this journey of words. So, you know how we've always been taught about words, and that this was like, I don't know, back in my journey, I've been doing this for over 4 years, like strategically, right? And in the beginning, it was like, oh my gosh, don't talk about negative things, because when you talk about negative things, you create your reality, and then you're going to actually attract the things that you don't want, right? Well, here's the thing I've learned: you can't not talk about things. We are more powerful than our words. Yes, when the false matrix was actually in play and that's been taken down, we are actually we keep putting ourselves back in the box. It's given the analogy the other day about, so the matrix is here, right? And that's a prison cell. But do you see how small that prison box is? Okay. So the matrix has been lifted. I want to say, like, I think I heard like 2012. Don't quote me on that, but it's been
Oh yeah,
gone
I've
for a
heard that
while.
too. Hmm.
Okay. Now think about this: the door to the prison has been open since 2012. We have been in prison so long that we're not even looking at the door, and the door is wide open. Okay.
Mm.
Then we get woke up to these different things in reality. And so then we start dabbling. But what we do is we like, okay, the door's open, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out the door. I'm going to get some decorations and I'm going to come back. So
I love that.
I'm in my box, but I got a Christmas tree right here. Oh, I just got chills. I got a Christmas tree and I've got decorations on the wall and I've got lights, and I've got this cute little cozy little room for me because this is safe. And even though I hate being in here, this is all that I know, right?
Hmm.
And so, but my walls are pretty, but I'm stuck inside the matrix. It doesn't exist, but because we keep going into those limited beliefs and going into those that false reality, and they are very smart, the archons, because they have sprinkled lies within the spiritual community. And so all this stuff that comes out, it gets tampered with, but it's all to help them, right? Because they don't want the end game to happen, and it's happening because we're at
Because
this
we got to integrate the
evolution.
light and the darkness, and that's what I've come. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah. But when you think about that, though, with the words, right? If you give it power, yeah. But it's all about your intention, right? Because
Hmm.
we've
Hmm.
learned about it's where intention goes, energy goes where intention goes. So if you're putting in negative intention when you're saying these words, yes, it does, it's powerful. But if I'm saying words and I have to tiptoe around the words that are coming out of my mouth, you're just going oh God, how do I say this in the right way so it doesn't, I don't want to manifest this negative reality because
For
I,
me, for
right?
me, it's more like because like when I'm saying things, it's because there's other people involved in my stories, and I don't want to involve them. But I'm like, it's my story. I
Hmm.
should be able to say what I want. They were involved and it happened to happen. It's
Hmm.
not in my control anymore. I'm just going
Right.
to speak my truth. And if they don't like it, then that's on them.
Right. Yeah. And
And that's a continuous thing I have to tell myself.
yes. But
Because
when
it's not
you,
like you learn something and it's instantly, or you know something and it's not like instant integration. It's something that you constantly have to practice integrating into your life until it becomes comfortable.
right. Well, I just remember, before I found out about like words were so powerful and they call spells and all the things that I heard like in the very beginning of my spiritual journey, it literally became like I would even write my stuff down, and every time I would see a certain word, I'm like, oh, that's low vibration. I'm going to change the way that it became super hard. Now, it is beneficial when you have such a negative mindset that you're trying to change the way you think and talk and all that. Like, I totally get that. But when it becomes to the point where, okay, I am spiritually aware, I am waking up and I'm having a conversation, but you're always holding back, well, you're not being your true, authentic self because you're always trying to navigate some fake whatever that makes you stumble. Like you almost sound like you don't know how to express yourself, but it's because you're like, I'm trying to pull the right word out of this and saying the right word out of that. And I've been down there. I've done the same thing. And now it's just like I am so free that I come across and I'm using my energy with my integrity behind my words. And if people say, "Oh my gosh, you said the wrong word," screw that. Like I am being me and you get the authentic me, and the way that I use my words is for high intentions. And so you should feel with your using your discernment, feel into the vibration in which I present these words. That
Absolutely.
is what you need to do, right? And I just think that's something that people need to be aware of.
And and if we say something, because also I'm like, what if I trigger someone? Okay, what if I do? It was probably meant, or it was meant to trigger someone.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's how we heal.
Mm-hmm.
I very much was in this mindset of making sure everyone is happy, making sure nobody was triggered. Like, let's just make sure, like, the too light. And
Mm-hmm.
now I'm like, the looking back at all the times where I've had the most growth has been when I have been triggered.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I definitely need to work on or I am working on saying my voice even
Yeah.
if it upsets the person I'm talking to, because if they are supposed to be in my life or be a viewer or just experience me, then they're gonna love me or be for me no matter
Mm-hmm.
what I say.
Yeah. And I just think that's just something that we earn to make, just awareness, because you hear about that all over the place. Like, oh gosh, it's so low vibrational and blah, 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 blah. It really, honestly, and use your discernment and feel into your
Hmm.
heart space, because honestly, whenever I finally realize this, because again, when you have to go outside yourself, which again, that's part of the false matrix, that's the programming. Oh, seek outside yourself, don't look inside. But when you really start pulling yourself back into your heart space and going, huh, does that really have a lot to do with, the spiritual journey that I'm on? And my
I think we should
discernment,
make a video about how to go into your heart space.
that, yeah, I think that were probably one of the other mini lists to add.
Many.
But yeah, it's just a lot of that, going within and figuring out your true discernment. And that has probably been the most beneficial thing I can say for me on this journey, because when you have to ask, oh my gosh, is this person right? Is that person wrong? Is this way right? Is that way wrong? Is this modality right? Is this modality wrong? When you're always asking outside of yourself, then you have not truly found who you are, which that's the journey. And whenever
Hmm.
you figure out how to go and hear and go, let me feel into it, because everything is energy. Therefore, every person, every word, every situation, every modality, everything that we come encounter with, your soul knows the truth. And that's what we have to go on guidance with, because I might be okay with it, but Marissa may not. And that's fine, because we're all on our different paths. We're all on our different journeys. And maybe I am not where she is.
Emphasize on journey. It
Yeah,
never ends.
never ends. And where I am on my journey, maybe I have surpassed a wound so it doesn't bother me that way, where maybe she needs that to trigger a wound healing. And
Hmm.
then vice versa, she may go through something and she may be like, oh my gosh, I don't know why it's bothering you, but then it triggers me, same thing, right? We go down these paths to find discernment within ourselves, because there's false light everywhere, you know. And I've always even said, like, I don't put myself in a box of Christianity. I really don't even put myself in a box of spirituality, because everything has this, this dogma. Who am I? I am me. I am my true authentic self, whatever that may be. That's who I am. That's what I've at least learned to to get myself out of the box of. So
Hmm.
It's just wild. But I definitely think that's something that everybody needs to be aware of, that you just have to learn how to trust yourself and quit getting caught up in all of the this vibration and that vibration and this is good and that's good because we
Well,
think
because ultimately, if you're afraid of going into any kind of vibration, you're already in a lower vibration of fear.
exactly. Yeah, you're
So,
operating from fear. And that even goes down to I can even Lord, I can go down I was even told in the very beginning of my journey too. It's like, "Oh my God, don't eat meat. You know, you need to be a
mm.
vegetarian, you need to be vegan, you need to be this, you need to be that." Okay, spoiler alert, everything is alive. Everything has a soul. So here, if you're saying, "Oh my gosh, you need to be vegan, you need to be vegetarian," well, a plant has a soul too. Did you know that? So if you go only eating plants, you're still eating a
It's all
soul.
just about your attention behind it.
Yeah, it's all every being, every single being comes here with a destination. Like they know they have a journey, they have things that they want to accomplish. A cow comes here knowing the journey that it's going to endure. It knows
Mhm.
that whether it's going to be on a very beautiful ranch, being able to free range, or if it's going to be in a slaughterhouse, raised like crap, it knows the destination and everything has its purpose, right?
You know, it's funny. Yes. Sorry, keep on going. I'll say it after.
Well, I was just saying, like, if it makes you feel a certain way about that, like you can get so caught up in bull crap with
Well, that's
spirituality sometimes.
also
It's a
looking
loop.
outside of yourself because ultimately, like meat and like is so good for your body. So like that's also looking outside of yourself, caring about everyone outside of yourself when we're supposed to be within ourselves. So we need to be looking at, okay, well, meat's good for me. So I'm going to eat meat because it is neutral, it's nutritious to my body. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
like it's all about just going within. I was just gonna say that like one of my I used to I've always wanted like a ranch or like a farm, but I
Mhm.
was like, I could never kill like these cows or I mean, I definitely probably would have to have like separate ones. I don't know if it would have to figure that out.
It's hard. Yeah.
But now I'm like, I want a ranch so then I can have my own meat and I can love on the animals so they have a nice life because they know that they're gonna die.
Mhm.
But then thank them and like have high vibrational food. Is that so silly? I'm like, I want to thank them
No.
and
Mhm.
like really like put a lot of thought and intention into the food
Yeah.
and have like a connection that's deeper that is more than just how I feel about that animal dying. That's a very egoic thing.
Absolutely. And like the moral of the story for this conversation is it's all about your intention. You know, it's all about your
Mm-hmm.
intention. And you got to do what's right for you. And you can't listen to anybody else. This is about you and
Mm-hmm.
your journey alone. Has nothing to do with anybody else, not even your family. Like literally, you have to take this journey selfishly because you are the one that signed up for this for your exploration, your growth, and take it personal, like really dig deep. And only thing that's going to work for you is whatever you decide is good for you. So, just word to the wise. Hope you enjoy. And here's another episode of the Awakening series.